There will be no room for cheating in the marriage. Know if you'll be able to adjust to the location of your partner. I believe nobody will embark on a long journey without preparing carefully for it. Same goes for marriage, because marriage is a lifetime journey and it requires proper preparation before embarking on it. But sad to say, most couples today put in less effort into preparing themselves mentally for the marriage itself, and so they put in all their effort in preparing for just the wedding day, forgetting there is life after the wedding. So in this video, I'll be deliberating on 10 tips on how you can prepare for your marriage, so stick around. Hello loves, you're welcome. I'm Faith Ucheku. So in this channel, I love talking about marriage, relationship and family. So in this video, I'll be sharing just 5 tips on how you can prepare for your marriage. Just as you've seen from the title, I'm sharing the video into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so that when I upload the next part, you'll be notified. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first tip I would suggest you take to mind is to replace the mindset of just me to we, because you are engaged now. You want to change the mindset you have of thinking about just yourself alone and start thinking about your partner. You want to see how you can start thinking about how your decisions can affect your partner, either positively or negatively, because any decision you make now is going to have an impact on your partner, because this person sees you as a person that he wants to spend the rest of his life with. This does not mean that you have to change the way you do your things. It does not mean that you have to change yourself entirely or forget about the things that makes you happy. That is not what you are saying here. It simply means that you want to start thinking of the ways you can involve your partner in those activities that makes you happy, and see how those activities can also make your partner happy, because there's no room for selfishness in marriage. There's no room for secrecy in marriage. You have to be transparent enough to your partner. And also another thing you can start doing now is to start working on your habits. If you are the type that have negative habits or bad habits, you want to see ways you can start working on yourself now. Even if you don't feel the need to do it, you want to think about your partner. Do it for your partner and become the best version of yourself. If you are the type that have anger issues, start thinking of ways to start working on your anger issues. If you can't do it all by yourself, you can seek help from a therapist to help you achieve this, or you can read books that contain those topics that will help you to control these habits of yours, because there will be days in the marriage when your partner will do things that will get you angry, and it is the ability for you to control your temper and come out from it in a calm atmosphere that is what is going to make your marriage bond either strong or weak. And I know you wouldn't want your marriage bond to be weak, so you want to start working on these attributes. You want to start working on your habits, because if you have temper issues, it's going to affect your partner in a negative way. And also you want to start working on your speech. You say things you feel like saying at any time, and you don't think how those things is going to affect your partner either in a positive way or in a negative way. You just say those things like that without proper construction of your words. Please, my darling, this is the time you need to start learning how to construct your words very well, how to manage your bad habits, how to control them, how to exhibit self-control. So you want to learn all of this before you say I do. So loves, the next tip I would suggest you take to mind is to have the children conversation with your partner. Don't assume that you know your partner well enough and so your partner would want to have kids. It might come as a shock to you, knowing that even if your partner loves kids, he wouldn't want to have his own kids. So you want to have these conversations with your partner, and also you want to talk to your partner on how many kids you would like to have and when you would like to have your own kids. We know it is God that gives children, but it is your duty to work towards your faith. Faith without work is dead. Faith is not enough. So you want to work towards it. Work towards it by asking your partner when your partner would like to have his own kids. These are important conversations you are supposed to have before you say I do. You know how the in-laws could be the minute you say I do. You start asking you questions such as, when am I expecting to see my grandchildren? And you know how that could sound. And another important thing that couples don't talk about is the sex of the children they would like to have. This is another important topic couples would want to talk about when they are preparing to get married, when having the children conversations. Because I've seen cases when couple have just particular sex of children, and then either one of the partner is not satisfied with it. Maybe you have just female children, or you have just male children, and maybe the man will not be satisfied with the wife having just a female child, and then he would decide to go outside the marriage in search of a lady that could give him a male child, simply because his wife produced just female children. So you see, this could result to issues in the home. And this men, they literally forget that it is what they give to their wives, that is what the wives give back to them. If you give your wife just a female child, she will give you back the female child. If you give her just a male child, she will give you back. It is what you put inside, that is what she delivers. But they don't want to know, they don't want to care about this. So it is your duty to talk about this before you say I do. Ask your partner if they will be okay with you if you have just a particular sex of children. If you have just male children or you have just female children, and come to a unanimous agreement on these topics before you say I do, so that if your partner does not agree with this, then you will know what to do from there before you eventually get married. Because when you are in the marriage and you start finding out these things, it will be difficult to turn back the ends of the time and to adjust this whole thing back again. It's going to take lots of effort. So it is better you talk about these things now before you eventually get married. In most parts of the world, it is generally accepted that wherever the husband is, that is where his wife is going to be. So most couples don't bother talking about this. They just feel that where I am, that is where my wife is going to be. And it is wrong you don't have these conversations before you get married. Will you be okay? Will you be comfortable living in a particular city, in a particular country for a long period of time, in a particular house for a long period of time? These are things you need to put into consideration before you eventually tie the knot. Because in the future, it might become an issue. And if you are the type that live in a different country or in a different city from your partner, and you have your job running in your city, you have your business running in your city, will you be comfortable moving it to where your partner is? So these are things you need to trash out and talk about before you eventually get married. I know of a lady that did not discuss this with her partner before they got married, and now the marriage is no more because she was uncomfortable bringing her business down. The business is lucrative in where it currently is, and so she decides to be traveling to and fro every month. And then the husband got tired of it, and even she got tired of it. The foundation of the marriage became so weak, and then before you know it, the marriage ended simply because of location issue. So location is really a big issue that couples need to take into consideration before they say I do. You need to know where you're going to live after your wedding. So it is important you have this conversation. Know if you'll be able to adjust to the location of your partner before you get married. And in some cases, the husband might be abroad and the wife will be in another city, and then they will both decide that when they get married, the wife will come down to abroad to meet the husband, and then she waits and waits and waits. The husband is not forth making effort to make the whole thing work the way they arranged this to be, and before you know it, temptations will start coming from outside and all of that, and before you know it, the marriage is over. So these are things that you need to put into consideration before you get married. You want to take the issue of fidelity very seriously. Know that when you get married, your body becomes your spouse body and your spouse body becomes yours. So there will be no room for cheating in the marriage. That is not the time for you to start to admire someone else. So this is the time now for you to start learning on how to accept your partner just the way your partner is. So know that cheating is not an option. And also you want to remove yourself from things that could lead to cheating, such as having constant conversations with your exes. Cut all ties with them, and you want to reduce the level of male friends you have, because this could lead to cheating. So you want to do this now that you are engaged, so that when you get married, it will be easy for you to continue in these habits. Money is very important in all homes. It is essential you talk about this. Most people today fail to talk about this. They shy away from talking about the issue of money simply because they already have a source of livelihood, and so they feel that since they already have something that can put food on their table, they don't feel the need to talk about money. So when they get married, the job is going to continue generating money for them, and everything will continue like that, just the way they were before they got married. But this thinking is wrong. You have to talk about money with your partner before you get married, because money is important in all homes, and it has been the causes of most divorce in our society. Do you think that those people that are divorced, they don't have a source of livelihood before they get divorced because of money issue? So these are things you need to talk about. Some of the things you could talk about with your partner on this money talk could be how you would want your income to be managed in the home. Would you want to involve a monthly budget or a weekly budget on how to manage the income that comes to the home? You could talk about how you would plan to save towards your children's future. That is if you plan on having children. You could also talk about if you would like to have a joint account with your partner to save towards your future. So these are necessary things you could talk about before you get married. So it is important you have these conversations so that when you're in the marriage, things will be more easy and you can be able to manage money without stress. Now that you're preparing to get married, you want to learn how you can build a solid marriage foundation in your marriage. So watch the video on your screen, and also subscribe, like, and share your comments with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.